What's up, Dice Crew? Keeping it a Benji, and I'm getting back with y'all. Now, first off, shout out to the Dice Crew, and second, shout out to the sponsors, the re-up. I'm gonna have a link in the description so y'all can tune in with them. Now, look, we got a Hispanic, Mexican, Latino, however we gonna word it. I ain't sure how they want to be addressed, but his name is Big Tone, and he's from North Cal. You know what I mean? And he's speaking on the remarks that Lefty Gunplay made pertaining to a black guy, you know, messing with his daughter and whatnot. So I ain't really familiar with him, but he a Mexican and he from North Cal. So I just want to see, you know, what's the difference or what's the similarities with the thought process. So let's tune in and see what this about. I'm gonna keep you the Benji for y'all doing the reaction. Y'all keep you the Benji for me in the comments. Let's rock.
Definitely. This has been a topic that has been kind of going on the meme pages and all that over the last few days. You have kids?
Yeah.
How many kids?
I got 2 and a stepson, yeah.
Okay.
So 3, yeah.
If your daughter one day brought home a black boyfriend, how would you feel?
But you know what? Like I said, I'm from the Bay, so we think different. I judge on the individual, not necessarily that.
Right.
Now, it's the individual. You come in disrespectful, you come in and I can see you're up to no good. I don't give a if you're white, black, Mexican, any of that, bro. You're a piece of shit, dude, I could tell. You come in respectful, you a man, and you present yourself right, and I can see you got a head on your shoulders, but I'll shake your hand. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on the individual itself, man. I can't, you know, we all have, even I'm Mexican, I love my culture, but we have the people just like every other race, but we got, just each person is case by case, man. So the race card don't fly with me, it's the individual, you know what I'm saying?
And especially like...
And you know, I agree with that because I'm sure most people will probably rather they children mess with something that's very similar, right? However, what would we rather choose? Like, would you rather have a person who kind of got their head on straight, or they got the right type of morals and integrity, but they a different color? Or would you want a person messing with your children that got the same color as you, but you know they on some low life, loser, lack of morals, irresponsibilities, just, you know, like, who would you rather have? Me personally, I'd rather have the person who got their head on right and, you know, somebody I can rely on, I can count on, my children can count on and rely on to do the right thing for the most part. Not saying that people gonna be perfect, but I would rather that as opposed to a person that look like me or whatever the case may be, but they whole fundamentals, everything they stand on is just pretty much trash.
Mexican, I love my culture, but we have the people just like every other race, but we got, just each person is case by case, man. So the race card don't fly with me, it's the individual, you know what I'm saying?
And especially like, I feel like you got to meet your kids on a logical level at a certain point, and I feel like in this modern TikTok and climate, telling your daughter that she's not allowed to date whoever the she wants to date, like based on their
That's
race
old school,
and not their character.
Yeah.
To me, like you're kind of asking to create a rift between your kids.
You know what? Adam just said something that was intelligent, right? Like, where will we go? Like, how far? Like, what position are we actually putting our kids in if we have them judging people by their skin tone and not their characters and what they believe in, and, you know, judging them by the right stuff? This is why you got a lot of people in life that really don't grow, don't elevate, don't have no real help. People always switching up on them, turning their back on them because they always associating themselves and putting themselves in a room with certain type of individuals just because a certain particular look. Not judging them by their morals, their standards, just their beliefs, you know, their conduct, their character. They don't judge them off of that. You know, they judging a person off of everything else that anybody can possibly have going on.
Right there, because your kid is most likely not going to have the same prejudices that you have, you know? So I'm on board with you for sure. It's about the individual.
I understand the old school way of thinking, and sometimes it transpires to the new generation. And up here, it is a little different politics. You know what I'm saying? I think it's been separated more than we have been. So I could understand, not agree, but understand why certain people think that way because it's been instilled in them. You know what I'm saying? So out there, we've been a melting pot. Like I said, we've been around. I grew up with black people. I grew up with white people. You know, some of my good homies I've done business with.
And you know, that's one thing that I always have kind of like from what I gathered from Northern California Mexicans, like I give them they respect the way that they respect black culture. And they really, 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 really like grow up with black people and they respect it though. You know, on the southern side, it's like, yeah, it'd be a lot of blacks and Mexicans that are raised together. You know, it's a lot of similarities, a lot of raised together, certain communities, environments, whatever. But it always runs into a roadblock, you know, on the southern side to where it's like, yeah, we did grow up when it's beneficial. We could say stuff like that. But then, like, depends on who else come around. It's kind of like F a black person. You know what I mean? When you see the Northern California Mexicans, they be saying that, but then it seems like their whole character still keeps that same level of respect. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we grew up with each other, and they keep having that same type of love and dialogue. I'm not saying that it don't be issues. Nobody's gonna always just be on the best of terms, but I do respect that outlook that the Northerners be having as opposed to what the Southerners be having. And also, I like it as in the form of you can't just classify all Mexicans for the same outlook, you know? And that's why I always point out that like some people share different beliefs based upon their environment, their experiences. That's just how it go.
There are, you know, black and white, so I don't look at it as that. It's just each person, man. If I sit down with you and I could tell you a solid person, I could just read you. I could read somebody in the first 10 seconds of sitting down with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I need to know.
Because it all has to do with how much you read into somebody's race as part of their identity. Because hypothetical situation, if you were to tell me that there's like, you know, fathers in Palestine who don't want their daughters to date an Israeli, yeah, I get it.
That's more religion.
Y'all are killing each other.
That's more of
you know?
religion than race.
Right, but like we kind of like as Americans, we're kind of like more accustomed to the idea that your race does not necessarily define your character or what side you're on, etc. That there's a lot more to it. We have a more nuanced view of it, I guess.
Yeah. You have kids?
3.5-year-old daughter.
Okay. So when she was, say, she's 20 years old, what would your feelings be?
I mean, same thing you said. It's like if the guy seems like he's a good guy, if he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, for sure, up with it. If he comes in with on some cocky, egotistical shit, that's like a dad's fucking worst nightmare.
If he comes in all peeled out and
exactly,
like he got a pistol in his waist or something, like, I know I've been around this shit too long. You not with my daughter, man.
Yeah. My worry would just be like, is she going to take you serious when you tell her that? Or is she going to decide to go full rebel?
And really, that's up to you and me, how we raise them. Like, I'm blessed. My daughter's 17 years old. She's a good kid, honor roll student, got her job. She got her head on straight, you know what I'm saying? And blessed. It could be luck of the draw, but that's up to us to instill that in them.
But do you feel like she has any kind of, like, lurking fascination with the street stuff that
Actually,
you come from?
The opposite.
Right.
I tripped out on that. I figured she might, she would have.
Some percentage of kids are just going to reject it,
And it's cool. Like, you know, she don't glorify that. She's just like, that's when we go out and people take pictures, they just step back. You know, they're not intrigued with. I think they've been used to it. I've been in the game a long time. They're used to it, so it's not such a big deal to them. You know what I mean? But if I was young and my pops is a superstar like that, I probably would have been hella juiced. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah.
But has she ever like told you like, hey Dad, I watched this little YouTube video saying this about you?
All her friends, her friends, they're probably gonna see this and tag her, and she's like, all my friends are, you know, for sure, But I don't think she that doesn't get to where I'm telling you, she's a smart girl. I'm proud of her. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because I mean, so much of the stuff that my parents were into, I just basically rejected or didn't give a fuck about. My parents loved all these sports teams that I didn't care about.
I like sports, man. I grew up. I love sports too, man. So I'm a Niner.
Certain things just don't hit though. Like a lot of people don't necessarily go with the religion that their parents present to them. Like myself. But like, you know, that's.
What religion are your parents?
They were Christian, like growing up, but then it kind of felt like as time went on, they sort of fell back from it, and then I was never really into it in the first place.
It was the black sheep just rebelling?
For sure. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.